So find yourself your comfortable sit in Sukhasana, or if Sukhasana doesn't work for you, which is easy cross-leg pose, then come to a seated position that does. And you know, what I love to see is that there are more and more chair yoga classes happening. I used to teach chair yoga years ago. And it just goes, I think it just helps people understand that have a little wiggle while I chat. So move around and find where you need to move around. Chair yoga, I think it lets people know that it's accessible. Yoga is accessible. It's not just standing on your head and doing shoulder stand or tying yourself in knots. So if sitting on the floor doesn't work for you, find a chair. So moving in your body, noticing your breath, setting aside everything else in your life apart from you, just you, right here. Consciously making space for yourself and around yourself so that when we start to move and stretch and find space within, we have the room to do that. So uncluttering your mind as much as is possible, just for now, not for very long. And starting to be a little more conscious of your breath and bringing in a little control. So breathing in and out through your nostrils and lengthening your out breath, taking that breath very deep down, feeling that it goes into your belly, into your lower back, especially into your sides, up under your arms and under your collarbones. So when you put all of that together, you end up taking a very nice, long, full in-breath. And then give your out-breath just as much tension and time. In fact, a little more time. Try and slow it down so it's longer than your in-breath. So let's breathe together for a moment. Breathing out. Emptying fully, completely, entirely. And then inhaling through your nostrils. Exhaling, taking your chin to your chest. Inhaling, drawing your chin all the way up to the ceiling. Exhaling, slow movement, chin to chest again. Tucking tight when you get there, exhaling fully. Inhaling, taking your chin up towards the ceiling again. Exhaling one more time, chin to chest, and this time tuck it in quite tight to finish and hold there. Relax your shoulders. Inhaling, coming all the way up, chin to ceiling once more. And then let's stay here for a moment. Let's stretch. So opening up, keeping your breath steady and constant, moving at your own pace with the breath. Chin up to the ceiling. So jutting your bottom row of teeth up to sky, up to the ceiling, whatever you happen to be lucky enough to have above you today. And really stretching out. Sometimes that stretch is so strong it makes you need to cough, it makes you need to release off, do any of those things and then come back to it. So come in and out. Feel that stretch right down into the base of your throat. Feel the back of your head heavy and soft and relaxed. Relax your pelvis. Relax your shoulders and your elbows and your hands. Relax the rest of your face. Working with that chin. And then staying there, lifting your sternum. So we get a little bit of a bend in the back, lifting your sternum up towards the ceiling. Notice how much that frees and opens up the whole of your mid space. Whole of your belly, and then keeping your sternum up, lift your head, which might feel very heavy now, and come back to center. Well done. So we're going to take an exhale here. Inhale. Exhale, right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Just noticing where you feel the same, where you feel different. Inhaling back to center and exhaling over to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling over to the left. Come back to center. Now keeping your focus on your inhale, exhale at your own pace, lifting your sternum, giving yourself that space in the front of your body. Lifting your sternum will hopefully give you a little bit more of sensation of weight dropping down into your sit bones. Notice if they feel like they're both actively holding half of you. And then we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So let's take an inhale together. Exhaling, right hand to left knee, twisting around. Inhale to come back. Exhaling, left hand to right knee, twisting around. Inhaling to come back to center. One more time. Exhaling to twist. Inhaling back to center. One more time. Exhaling to twist on the right side. Inhaling back to center and folding forward on an exhale. And stay folded forward just for a moment. Inhaling, exhaling as you need. And then coming back up to center. Change the cross of your legs. And close your eyes just for a moment. Relax the crown of your head, but lift it up towards the ceiling. Relax your face, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, softening through the whole of your back. Keeping your forearms and your hands gentle, soft and relaxed. Relax your belly, relax your pelvis. As much as possible, relax your legs and your feet. Feel tall and strong, but soft and relaxed. Inhaling through your nostrils, exhaling through your mouth or your nostrils, keeping that breath steady and even. Just invite you to think about your intention for yourself. And that's for your practice, but it's also for the rest of your day, for the rest of your week, your month. What is it that you need more of to be more you, to be more authentically settled, strong, confident, and peaceful? And I'd like to go a little further today to invite you to think of 3 things that you could perhaps do today. 3 small, small things that will help you feel more settled, more comfortable in your body. Just small things. That might be 1 extra glass of water. It might be going to bed half an hour earlier. It might be any number of little things, calling a friend, writing a gratitude list, cuddling a pet, telling someone that you love them. 3 small intentional practices for you today. And then open your eyes. And let's start to move. We're going to come into a little bit of spine work. So bring yourself to your tabletop position to start. Remember, if you've got knobbly knees, sore knees, clinky, crunky knees. Double fold your mat. Just make sure that your knees are both the same, or have the same height of support. So bring yourself into your tabletop, your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, just check. Back and neck and head flat, and we're going to push back. So tuck your toes under, let's stretch out under the feet. So pushing back very slowly. Resist with your toes, resist with your calves and your thighs, but push with your arms. So we're making the shoulders work, making the arms work, pushing back, resisting with the feet. Exhale fully, and then on an inhale, we're going to move forward. This time we're engaging the thighs, make your thighs really strong. Push and slightly resist with your arms, coming beyond the midpoint. Then inhaling to come back. Resisting with the legs, pushing with the arms. Stretching out under the toes. That should feel really good. And then when you need to take a breath, coming forward. So move at your own pace. And let's do 3 rounds of pushing back. Resist, resist, resist with your legs. Feel that power in your shoulders and your upper arms. And then the same, pushing with the legs, slightly resisting with the arms, coming beyond. Feeling that nice big strong stretch in your wrists. One last round. I don't know about you, but this is making me feel really hot this morning. Pushing forward. Must have been that very early night I had. Too much sleep or something. And then coming back to neutral. Bring yourself down onto your forearms. So we're still up on knees. We're just bringing the forearms down. Changing angle a little. And then taking your toes into a nice flat position. So the tops of your feet flat to the floor. We're going to slide the arms forward and bring the chest down. So keep your bottom up in the air. You can bring your chest back towards your thighs a little perhaps. And then sliding your arms forward, bringing your chest down to the ground. So we're coming into puppy dog. Shavasana. And stretching forward with your fingers. If you can bring your chin to the mat, do that. And then your gaze is forwards. So we're stretching the tops of the shoulders, stretching in the neck and throat. Big chest and heart opener. Puppy dog pose. Relax your toes. Relax your feet and your legs. Try to soften through your shoulders. Take your breath to any areas of your body where you feel slightly restricted or any difficulty in the stretch and open. This is a beautiful opening up under the arms and a lovely chest opener. Hold and soften, focus on your breath. To come out and walk your hands back and push yourself back so your thighs come down, your chest comes down, and you end up in Balasana. Legs might be slightly apart. Take them a little further apart so you can bring your chest down to the mat between your knees. So we have a similar posture. We're still opening up under the arms, but as you can feel, it's less intense than in puppy dog. When we're in child pose, We have that really nice squeezing in the groin, closing off circulation a little to the legs. So we're just going to stay here for a moment. Chin is to the mat or forehead to the mat, up to you, whatever works best. And if you have your chin to the mat, take your forehead to the mat, and vice versa. Just try the other version now, if you can. And then lifting away a little, come up and back into our tabletop position. So knees have had a little bit of a rest, hopefully feeling like they did have a rest. And we're going to come into bird dog to activate the core, wake everything up. So pressing down into your left hand and into your right knee. We're going to be lifting off. No, yes, left hand and right knee are staying put. Right hand and left leg are going to travel. But just close everything up, lock everything up in your core now. So lift your pelvic floor, pull your belly button gently towards your spine. Take your shoulders broad and wide, strength through your neck. And now we're going to start moving. So first the right hand and then the left leg. Trying to keep your core steady, still, and stable. Notice that left hip. See if you can try and keep it in line with your right hip, not dropping and not lifting. Reaching forward with your right hand, reaching back with your left foot. Head and neck in line with your spine. Gaze is to the floor. Your drishti point is just next to your left hand. Holding in that balance, breathing, and slowly coming back. So we're going to take the knee into the chest and the elbow into the chest. So see if you can bring your knee and your elbow to join underneath you, rounding the back, squeezing them in, holding in that balance, and then slowly coming back to the mat. Oof. How do you feel? Well done. So right hand down, spread those fingers out, push your knuckles down, engage the whole of your arm. So pushing your shoulder away from your hand. Do you notice how you get a little bit of a longer arm there? So stronger in that arm. And then the focus is to your left leg. Think about engaging your thigh, pushing the top of your left foot down into the mat. Zipping up that pelvic floor, belly to spine, nice and strong. Relax your neck and your jaw, and then let's move left arm and right leg. Reaching, dropping that right hip if it's gone up. If it's in line already, lovely. I prefer to practice without any mirrors. So, sometimes you go to a studio and there's mirrors everywhere. I've never put them into a studio because I think it's more important to notice how you feel inside, how you feel in your body, how you train yourself to be a little bit more perceptive about how you're holding yourself from the inside, not looking from the outside. That's a quick way. When you see yourself in a mirror, in a posture, there's always bits that you think, oh, I need to adjust that, I need to adjust that. Feels like it's external coming in. It's also useful, but I think for me, I prefer that we build up that understanding and observance from inside. Now let's come back into the center. So elbow drawing in, knee drawing in, pulling in tight, allowing the back to curve, and then coming back. Taking the knees together, quite firmly together, and your big toes together, and maybe your heels together if you can, and then pushing yourself back. So push with your arms here, coming back into Balasana, And then forehead down, bringing your arms either side of your feet. And relax. Slowly coming up, come to sitting in a kneeling position. Don't worry, we won't hold here very long. I know that sitting on your heels is not the most comfortable position for some of you. If you prefer, take your feet out to the side, but otherwise stay here just for a moment. Link your hands behind you, bringing the heels of your hands together, your palms together, elbows are bent, head and neck up to the ceiling, and then pushing your hands down and straightening your arms, rolling your shoulder blades together, opening your arms away from the body, straight arms, nice firm clasp, right hand in your left hand, and lifting your hands a little away from you, maybe a bit further, opening up in the chest. So let's lift the chin, send the sternum forward, a little bit of a round in the back. It's not a huge lift in the arms, so the tops of your hands might be coming down towards the floor now. Hard to breathe here, but keep breathing nice and steady. And then coming forward, relax. Taking your arms around, give yourself a hug. This time opening the arms out to the sides. Push your chest forward, curling your lower back a little, opening your chin up towards the ceiling, and then bringing those arms back in for another hug. This time, opposite arm on top, if you can remember, curling the back, chin towards the chest, holding here for a moment, and then let's come off those knees as I promised we would. Come back to tabletop position. Let's come into a little bit of cat-cow. So let's start with an exhale. And then we're going to inhale to curve the head up and the hips up into our cow posture, and then exhaling fully to curl around to cat. Carry on at your own pace. Your movement and the speed of your movement dictated by when you need to take that breath and when you need to let go of that breath. So let the breath be the guide to the speed, and control the breath and slow down the breath to slow down the movement. Make sure when you get to the furthest most point of each movement that you hold just for a moment, maybe even with a held breath, before starting to move again. So you have those two little moments of hold and peace and stillness in between those two areas of, or times perhaps, of movement. It also gives you a chance to recognize where you are in the posture, what you're doing, the back of your head, where it is, your chin, where it is. And one more round. Think about that lovely spine moving through its entire range of movement in this plane. And then coming to neutral, tucking your toes under, coming up into a squat. So we are in our squat, forwards. Take your knees out to the sides, and let's have a little bit of a rock from side to side. So waking up bottom of the feet again, moving in the hips a little. So left knee comes round and down, right knee comes round and down. Use your hands for support if you need to, or you pop them on your knees. Bring in a little bit of arm movement here. or they can be on the floor to give you a little support. Just a nice bit of movement in the hips, and then come to center, taking your elbows and popping them on the inside edge of each knee, hands together in Anjali Mudra. If you need your hands for support, then you've got your hands on the floor and you're still poking those elbows in to the inner edges of your knees. So we're just bringing in a little bit more stretch here. So using your elbows and your arms to push yourself to your limits for today of where your hips would like to open to. Maybe they feel like they wouldn't quite like to open as much as you're opening them up, but all good. And remember, more water drunk on the day when you're doing big hip work. So we're warming up here, we're opening up the hips as we're going to come into a nice hip opener asana in a moment or two. I know these also are hip openers, but we're warming up for a big one. So hands down to the mat in front of you. And we're going to straighten the legs and come into Prasarita Padottanasana. So you may have to shuffle your feet away. We're just lifting the hips up, straight legs. And then moving your feet out to the sides. Just wiggle them out, coming into a nice wide leg stretched. Fold forward. Crown of the head towards your mat. Using your hands for balance, for support, or they're just there because you've got all of that covered through your legs and your core. A little bit of a bend in the knees. This is our first proper inversion, so let's enjoy it. Soften through your neck, through your shoulders, through the back of your head, to the crown of your head and round to your face. Feel the weight of your cheeks. Feel your mouth. Let go of any tension in your mouth. So feeling your top lip is heavy and full. Feel that your eyeballs and your muscles around your eyes are at peace, at rest. And remember to breathe. Up and across your shoulders. Keep your legs strong. And we're changing the angle and the stretch on the backs of the legs a little by coming into downward facing dog. So push the floor away. And bring your legs towards each other. So feet are about a hip width apart. And you're in your upside down V position, your downward facing dog, your Ardha Mukha Savasana. Sending your sit bones up towards the ceiling, bringing your heels down towards the mat. Widening across your shoulders. So when you do that, you'll notice that you've got a little bit more space between your arms and your head. And soften through the back of your neck and allow your head to be completely at peace here, at rest. No tension in the head or neck. And activate your hands, pushing your fingertips gently into the floor, pushing the floor away. Bones up towards the ceiling, still. Belly button gently pull towards your spine. Well done. And then looking forward, we're going to lift the right leg. So lift your right leg off. Bring it parallel, so lifting it out behind you. And then pulling your knee into your chest. Left leg is still straight and long. We're going to bring that right leg forward into pigeon. So your right foot comes towards your left hand, your right knee towards your right hand. Slide your back leg back. Release that back foot. So your left foot is top of the foot, flat to the floor. And here you are in pigeon. So this was the asana that we're moving towards. Find a cushion or something. Probably should have told you that earlier. But hopefully where you're practicing, you've got a sofa to hand or something. If you need to put something under your right thigh, I sort of feel like I kind of almost do, because it's still early in the day. But I'm going to sit and settle into this. So with your pigeon, you have lots of options. Well, sort of 3 and then anywhere in between, I suppose, of where you are with your torso. So let's start off bringing our forearms down to the mat, maybe clenching your right fist and wrapping your left hand with your fingers around your right fist. And breathing, relaxing and letting go of anything in the shoulders, in the neck. If you are happy here, stay here. If you'd like to go a little further, you can extend your arms forwards, bringing your forehead down to the mat. If you'd like to find that neck support and head support, but folding forward is a little too much, where our hands were before, take your right fist into the floor on its side, make a left fist and pop it on top. And there you go, you have a little forehead support. So you can soften through your shoulders and your neck. If it's easier for you to stretch forward, stretch forward. All the while we're here, we're trying to let go of those muscles that are all holding on tight in the right hip, in the right thigh, in the right knee, in the right calf, and across the whole of the pelvis. Use your breath, take your breath to the areas that feel tight or restricted or uncomfortable. The angle of your leg, your lower leg, is unimportant, other than you need to make sure your knee is comfortable. If your right knee is not comfortable, then you close that angle off and you bring your foot closer in towards your body. If your knee is comfortable, you can take your right foot towards your right foot towards your left elbow. And then let's sit up a little. So pushing the floor away, bringing your right hand to your right knee and left hand either to the floor or to your right foot. Too many lefts and rights, just not going well, but you are where you are, so you'll be fine. You know what I'm talking about. And we're up tall, and from here we're going to release. So taking your hands to the mat, taking your left toes. See, I'm completely at it today. Down, lifting that back leg and bringing yourself into plank. Now we held for a long time in pigeon, so be very patient and gentle and kind with your body as you come into this plank, noticing how hard it feels to straighten out your right leg and allowing time to notice any sensations in your right leg. And then sending your hips up, coming back into downward facing dog. Walking your feet forward, and let's have a little bit of inversion here. So head and neck, give them your full attention and allow them to relax and to be soft and at peace. Pushing the floor away with your hands, sending your sit bones up to the ceiling. Nice long straight line from your hands to your hips. We don't want to cave the top of the back in here. Keep your shoulders broad. And again, let's enjoy this inversion. Soften through the back of your neck. Remembering to breathe. And then looking forward to your hands. We're going to be lifting that left leg up now. So just out behind you, not any higher. And then bringing it in nice and slow, tucking it into your chest before taking your left foot to your right hand, left knee to your left hand, and sliding your right leg back out behind you to lower your left thigh down towards the ground. And again, if you used a support on the other side, use a support on this side. And the purpose of the support is not oh, well, I can't do it fully. I'm not quite there yet. It's entirely to let you relax those muscles and get the most out of this asana. So our goal here, once we are in this position, is to try and relax. So let's come forwards, bringing your forearms down to the mat. And then bringing your forehead down to the mat, or stacking your right fist on top of your left and bringing your forehead down to rest on your stacked fists. So let go of any tension in your left foot and ankle. Adjust the position and the angle to suit you. Relax your left knee, your left thigh, and your left hip. Soften through the whole of your pelvis. Staying here or reaching forwards, whatever works for you best in this moment, in this practice. When you change your position with your upper body and your arms, you'll notice that muscles switch on automatically in your thigh, in your pelvis, around your hip. And see if you can take your breath to those spaces and encourage those muscles to just ease and let go. Pressing the floor away with your hands now, coming up. Let's come up to sitting, change the angle a little. So again, left hand to left knee, right hand to left foot. Almost made it, almost managed. And then lifting up. So get a little bit of a bend in the lower back. And we can stretch that right foot out a little further behind you. And we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. We held for a very long time. Hands to the floor. Tuck your right toe under. And then slowly coming up into our plank. Sliding the left leg back. Holding in plank. Noticing if one leg feels warmer or colder than the other. And then poking those hips up towards the ceiling, bringing yourself into downward dog. Again, here we are again, downward facing dog. So you know what to do. Go through the different bits of you and figure out if they're doing what they should be doing, and find your down dog. Find the position that works for you. There's that length through the backs of the legs, long in the arms and the back, head and neck relaxed. And then we're walking the feet and hands towards each other into Uttanasana. Nice gentle forward bend. And we're going to come up into Utkatasana, into chair pose. So we're working the hips in a slightly different way. Sending the arms forward now. Bringing the hips down into chair. Arms are parallel. Make sure your elbows and your wrists and your shoulders are all in line. Sitting back in that imaginary chair, making sure that you are engaging your thighs, lifting your pelvic floor, pulling your belly in towards your spine, and slowly straightening using the legs, keeping the arms up. Keeping your arms up, we're coming into a little bit of a back bend now. So feet equal distance apart. What does that even mean? Make sure you've got about enough room for another foot in front or in between your feet. Look down if you need to check. Engage your pelvic floor, lift your sternum, and looking up now towards the mid space between your hands. Take a breath. On the exhale, taking the hands slightly behind, coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, lifting your sternum, looking back and up. Coming back to the center and bringing your arms all the way down, slowly, slowly down. Well done. So some nice hip work, some nice inversions, and then a little bit of a back bend. We're going to come down to the mat, and we're going to do a little bit more work on hips. So coming down, if you can, come down to the floor to sit without using your hands. Please go ahead and do that. If you need to use your hands, use your hands. And come into Baddha Konasana. So we're in Baddha Konasana and we're going to come into postures on the floor soon. We'll do a little bit of balance work first. And when we are on the floor, we're going to do a couple of postures to help digestion and also still continue to work on the hips. So a little bit of hip work here, bringing your feet in towards your body, taking your knees out to the sides, still keeping the back and neck long and strong. Use your hands, use your arms. So that might be that you're pressing down on your knees. It might be that you're holding your ankles or your calves. I've got my hands just wrapped around the tops of my feet. And just sitting here, allowing everything to settle, focusing on the breath. And bringing yourself back to that intention piece, that intention setting, that just revisiting. Sometimes when you come back to the intention, you discover that actually it's not quite the right word, it's not quite the right intention for you. And then somehow it settles in to finding what is the right one for you. And why is intention so important? Well, it's important in everything that you do. It's not fixing on a desired outcome, but it's setting a gaze point, a goal for something, so that when it does happen, you recognize that it happens. doesn't just pass you by. So we're turning this into a little bit of a balance posture. So left hand around your left foot or your left calf, and right hand is going to take that right leg out to the side. So if you can hold on the outer edge of your foot, that's pretty easy. If you prefer to have a yoga hold on your big toe, make sure that your big toe is working just as hard so that it doesn't feel like it's being wrenched off. And if that doesn't really work, then hold on to your calf, the back of your calf. So let's open that leg out to the side a little more, as far as it will go. Are you hanging on with your left arm for dear life? See if you can release that a little. And then let's take that right leg in, keep it up. So keep it off the floor. Bring your right foot towards your left elbow, scoop around or hold with your hand, and then wrap your arms around your leg. And then let's move that leg into that hip socket. It's a passive move, and we're moving it actively with the arms, passively in the hip. So just rocking that leg from side to side. And it might be that you're more comfortable holding on with your hands, and you might get more range of movement doing that, in fact. So just moving gently, maybe a nice big circle with the knee, circling the other way. Bring it in for a hug. Foot towards your chest. And release. Thank you very much. Right leg. Pop it down. So again, we're going to have the right hand here just for stability, tucked underneath. And the same on this side as you did on the other side. So yoga hold, which is just 2 fingers with a thumb lock around your big toe, or you're holding on the outer edge of your foot. Feel your sit bones are even and evenly weight bearing, and just take that left leg out. You might be able to bring your right foot in a little closer and breathe. What can happen here in this posture is we send the mid back out and we bring the sternum closer to the hips. There's that little bit of kind of safety, that hanging on, that clinging on with the torso here. If you can, lift your sternum, feel that comfort in your back as you straighten and lengthen the spine. Get the crown of your head up towards the ceiling and a little bit of chin chest space. So lifting the head a little, but definitely lifting the sternum a little. You give yourself some space in the front of the body there. And then this left leg starting to feel a little heavy. Take it further out. Relax your right foot. Relax your toes on your right foot. We're also getting a really lovely stretch in the elbow, in the wrist, in the shoulders, waking up all those tendons and ligaments and muscles, and encouraging better blood flow to those areas. Bring that leg in for a cuddle. So wrapping the foot into the elbow if that works, or holding on with your hand, and then coming round. And here again, be wary of curling around and folding forward. Keep your back as long as possible. So let's move nice and close into the body, and then maybe a bit more movement by taking the foot into the hand, the knee into the left hand. And stirring. Oh, some nice clunks and clicks. Don't know about anybody else. This is a very noisy hip today. One more big hug. Bring that knee in, bring that calf in. and pop it down. Don't get too comfy. I'm just going to do a little bit of balance here. As I said, so both feet off. Make sure there's nothing behind you that you could go and clunk onto, or there's just a pile of cushions or something soft, and both feet off. I definitely find that it's easier to hold a yoga hold around the toe on this one, but do what works for you. Hold is strong and wide. Right leg out, back leg, left leg out. And normally I turn to the side for this one. Completely forgot. So long in the spine, long in the neck, long in the legs. Balance. Bring the feet together. Bend the knees. Wrap your arms around your calves. Give yourself a hug and rolling down. Rolling down, pulling your knees into your chest. If rolling down is not an option, I'm sure you found a really safe, good way to get down to the ground. Pull your knees into your chest as tightly as you can. Breathe and rock from side to side. Now, this is a brilliant posture for digestion, as of course is Balasana and our twist. So let's come into the twist now, taking your arms out to the side, rolling the knees over to the right. Chest stays fairly still, left shoulder stays on the ground, bringing your gaze over to the left side. Try to feel a softness through your lower back. So today what I'm going to do is take you into your Shavasana in a moment, and then I'm going to gently leave you there so that you can stay in your Shavasana for as long as suits you. Bringing your head back to center now. Bringing your knees skimming across center point and over to the other side. Watch out for that right shoulder lifting and moving. And then your gaze over to the right side. You can start to close your eyes here now, if that is appropriate for you. Enjoying your twist. And as you finish your practice today, if you want to, you have time, and it's going to help your digestion. Well, of course it will help your digestion, but if you'd like some extra help with digestion, repeat your twist a few times, and in between each one, bring your knees into your chest. And you can also add in a bridge. All of that little routine of twist, knees to chest, bridge, twist, knees to chest, bridge, will help with any issues around your liver, kidneys, digestion. Bringing your head back to center, bringing your knees back to center now. One big hug, taking your knees into your chest again, feeling your back softening and easing, fully supported by the ground, by the earth, by the mat. Relax your shoulders and let go. Bring yourself into your Shavasana. Take up a little space. So Shavasana, think about being a starfish. Think about being completely at ease, at rest, lengthening your limbs. So sending your arms away, lifting them off the floor, stretching, and then laying them back down again. And the same with your legs. Rocking the body from side to side. Rocking the hips from side to side, allowing your legs to move. Rocking your chest from side to side with your shoulders. And then shaking your head from side to side. Feel a connection with the ground below you, the air above you. Closing your eyes if they're not already closed. Softening, easing, relaxing completely into your Shavasana. Focusing on your breath, focusing on letting go, and staying here for as long as you need to.